Welcome back to another video. We're going to do some prospecting runs. My labor is almost full. Let's look at some research perks first. So eventually we'll finish the middle tier and then we're going to go up the side. Gold cap. Yeah, okay, where are we getting to? Movement speed, always nice-ish. Okay, 2% chance to not consume any labor. Goes up to 10%, so that'll kind of be a thing. Plus 100 labor cap goes up to, I'm assuming, plus 500 labor cap, which we'll talk about that in a second. Chance to double profession loot per level, so I guess that goes up to 4%. And altar runs, okay. So, some small perks that'll add up. It's kind of nice-ish stuff. Let's go over here. Now, the perk that will make your labor cap go up 500 points, I'm assuming it's 500, because probably 100 each level. When you add labor refills, it gives you 2,000 flat labor. So it's not, you're not going to get more on your refills. You would think that like hitting the refill button does what it says, it refills your bar, but it's only going to be 2,000, so that's not going to change or anything. But you know, whatever. All right. But the little perks will be nice when we get them. So we're rocking around with the Hydra mount. Oh, I'm going that way. We got that. Eventually, I'm going to switch off using the mount just because it's so big and kind of clunky. Sometimes not the easiest to see where you have been. I know I'm leaving loot back there. Just deal with it. We're really just trying to get our prospecting and our labor used up. But anywho, the purpose of this video, other than me apparently losing my voice as soon as I hit record, is just, you know, a day in the life. We are doing our thing. I think two-hand is still the way to go for everything in the game because of the Agile Winds talent. I believe it gives overcap movement speed. And so even though I have the rockets and the broom, come on, and the panda, which is why I can instantly pick these nodes up, I think that the Agile Winds talent will get you to, I think 400 is the cap on movement speed. We don't have the Clover fully leveled up. That might happen someday in our lifetime. Oh, and also, people don't know over here, if you see the currency at the top right on my screen, the blue crystal stuff, the frosty things, you can spend that over here and get raw gemstone. That was added like a couple patches ago, I believe. So once you've finished leveling up the towers or whatever that needs it, and my towers are getting pretty close to being done. Yeah, so this will be the last tower upgrade for me until they add more stuff in the next worlds, presumably. But there you go. So I think you need some of the Frost World currency to upgrade at least one of the towers, maybe like the graveyard or something. And then, but after that, you can just dump it all in there. Maybe it'll add some sort of something else that you need for it, but hopefully not. I don't mind getting some extra stuff there. Also, you notice how I have to stop at these nodes for a second? Because while my character is shooting arrows, I can't pick up the nodes. So two-hand doesn't have to deal with that because the two-hand attacks are instant. So you might wonder, why do I pick up these small nodes? So that it can respawn is why I pick up the small nodes. You gotta plow the field so you can plant new stuff, I guess. But anywho, today what I'm complaining about is just, I would like that after you beat Shiver King, if it unlocks like a King's Throne Room or something, and it's just nothing but, I would hope for like yellow and red nodes, or maybe just only red nodes there. That way you can just run around a quick circle and just kind of just like a real tight room like this where you can just run around and just pick up nodes, and get that done real fast. Because essentially, you know, if you want players to spend gems, because, you know, you gotta keep the game going, or even if they're just spending the free-to-play gems, if I can't spend all my gems in the day just because it takes so long to kind of run around and do the chores, then how am I going to buy gems? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But if you make it easy, just give me a room about this size where I can run around and hit a bunch of nodes here, spend all my labor, then am I more likely to, you know, am I more likely to do labor, or am I less likely to do labor and spend and do all that? So
How the rich history of
those are my
Houston, Dallas,
thoughts.
Austin.
Laughs.
All right. Podcast playing up. So, you know, once you get to endgame and you've cleared all the bosses, you're just doing your dailies, you're powering up, trying to get ready for new content, you know, in 2 weeks when that drops. I would say the majority of the gameplay is going to be doing this, running your prospecting, leveling up your gems, and I'll show you what I've been working on towards the end of the video because we should be wrapping up pretty soon. But yeah, so you're doing your prospecting, you are doing your Apex runs, and I'll go and film an Apex run after this. It's just my prospecting was about to cap, so I wanted to do this thing first. This is also giving me some elite pack kills, and that is getting me up towards, let me show you the Eternal 3. We need to go kill some more elite monsters. We're like 3/4 of the way through that. Items in Echo Forge. I could Echo Forge something right now if I really wanted to. It doesn't really matter. And then, of course, 8 T4 jewels. I'll show my jewels at the end. That's going to take forever. So, we're working on it. Also, they added some more ways to get jewel materials and things like that. Perfect jewel fragments. That, of course, does not speed up your T4 jewels. It speeds up your T5 jewels. But hey, it is something. You might be wondering, so, you know, obviously I mentioned that two-hand is better for pretty much everything. Why in the world am I playing bow? Because bow is fun. Look at all those dogs. You don't have all these dogs unless you're playing bow. Look at that. If I'm attacking something, I can get like 10 dogs going. It's crazy. Alright, so we burned all our labor up. Let's look at our jewels and wrap this thing up. So, should be good for it. There we go. They changed all the jewel icons. So here, you know, the art looks pretty good. What I will say, though, is when you go on the character sheet, it's so small. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know. Maybe you'll get used to it. But it's something when, like, when the icon is so small, you don't want it to be so detailed. But I will say, what am I doing? There we go. I will say over here it looks good, and it kind of tells you what it is. Okay, bloodstone looks like a bloodstone. Cinnabar shows you poison stuff. Speaking of poison, so I'm working on this. If I pump a bunch of poison jewels and I eventually get tired of bow, I can still transition into what is it? Dual blades, because dual blade uses poison and bleed. I think the new weapon is spear. I can't remember if that was official or if that's what people have been guessing, but it sounds like spear is the new weapon, and I'm going to assume that spear is probably going to be a bleed weapon, because is this for bleeding? Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be a bleed weapon. I would say that it would be really good if they had some sort of like transmorgify where I could transfer, you know, this is a burn jewel. I don't use burn right now because I'm just messing around with different stuff. If I could swap this over and do cinnabar, and then I could probably get my garnet up because it says armor pen on it. I should probably have been doing this one anyways, but cinnabar looks fun. I want to see if Poison Nova is good or sucks. I can't really notice any damage from Poison Nova. I can't even notice if I have my AoE on bow with all the poison effects everywhere. I never even notice the visual of the skill going off. But I don't know, maybe it'll be something fun. Maybe the armor reduction will be significant. I don't know. We're goofing around, we're having fun. That's what it really is. So alright, we've been working on that. On the ruby, I think that's just something to do. I know a lot of people up here are using this ruby because everyone's using the event pets that are doing tons of damage. I think perfect ruby only really matters if you are using Teddy and Snack and Jack, which I'm not really working on over here. If I get I think I'm missing one extra attack target right now, but if I get more extra attack target, I can take out those talents in my builds and I can go get something else like all damage, because bow doesn't really have a lot of options for other things. And then over here, another attack target, so that would give me 3 more attack target. I need one that's 2 extra. I could reduce some things. give me some free talent points. But that's what it is. I could take all the T1 and 2 and 3 currency and try to roll them up at that vendor I showed you, and that would slightly get me faster T4 progress, but I think there's probably some sort of diminishing returns in there, so it's probably not worth it. But anywho, so that's some more bow footage for you. It's me running around and doing some prospecting as always. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.